I was born in Puerto Rico, and I moved to Boston when I was 6 years old. Like in elementary and middle school, I was always like one of the smart kids. And then I got into an exam school, and then I didn't do so good freshman year. It was really hard because when I would go home, it was kind of like a lot of arguments. I don't know. It was just stressful, and I got to a point where I didn't really care about school anymore because I just tried like whatever I could do, and then as long as I passed, I didn't really care. I interviewed for summer search my sophomore year of high school. I found out about it because my Spanish teacher at the time nominated me. They basically accept students who show leadership potential but don't necessarily have the opportunities to kind of succeed in what they're capable of. The interview was very intensive. Like the only thing they ask you is what is it like to be in your shoes, and basically you have to tell them about your life. So back then it was really hard for me to talk about it, about things that were happening within my family, like why we moved to Puerto Rico, about how my dad abused my mom and stuff like that. So basically they saw that I was like a really strong person and I was doing well in school, but I didn't have like a lot of opportunities. So yeah, I guess they saw something in me. I think they saw that I needed someone to guide me and someone to mentor me. You have to do certain things to stay in the program. Like you have to call every week and check in with them. And at first I hated checking in because you have to talk about things like this and that I didn't really want to talk about. The fact that you're talking to kind of a stranger at first. So I didn't really want to talk to my mentor. But now we talk all the time. I think a good mentor is someone who's there kind of for the long run, because a lot of mentors are just temporary. And if you know they're temporary, it's kind of like you're not going to interact with them as well as kind of like my summer search mentor, who I know I'm going to be connected to for the rest of my life. Summer search gives you 2 trips. And the first one, most students go on a wilderness trip, which is like the harder trip. And then the second trip, you could either do something in the country, like at a university, or you could go abroad. And then throughout the year, leading up to those trips, they kind of prepare you, kind of what you might deal with. Because a lot of people, when they go to another country, they could experience like culture shock. Well, through the first trip, I had to go on an hour-bound trip in North Carolina, and it was 21 days long, and I did hiking, backpacking, rock climbing, whitewater canoeing. I had to communicate with the team of people that I was with, and we didn't know each other, so there was a lot of argument and stuff. But in order for us to complete each day, we had to hike and cook and, hang the food on the trees. I had to learn to communicate with others well. And when I came back home, it kind of reflected on me and my mom. So I stopped like arguing and talking back and just, because adults sometimes aren't easy to talk to, especially mothers or parents. So I would just like go to my room and not argue back until she was like calm, and then we might talk again. I had the opportunity to go to Spain and do a language program over there with a whole new group of people that I didn't know. I learned that I want to travel around more when I grow up, if I have the opportunity to. I want to major in international relations. I would like to work in Washington, D.C. one day and be a foreign service officer because there's just so many different people out there.